Everyone wanted the Epstein list. People were certain it would expose the darkest secrets of the world's elite. Names, faces, connections, a full blueprint of power and corruption. But now, the Department of Justice has quietly closed that chapter. No client list, no further investigations, no bombshells. Just a final note. We found no evidence of a list or of ongoing blackmail. Case closed, at least officially. At the same time, Sean Diddy Combs faced serious allegations: trafficking, racketeering, abuse. It was building towards something explosive, but after just a 3-day jury trial, Diddy was acquitted of the most serious charges. The only convictions: 2 counts of transporting women for prostitution, no trafficking charge, no RICO, no maximum sentence. Just enough to say justice was served, but not enough to destroy him. Sentencing is scheduled for October. He remains in jail, but for now, the system has made its move. And here's where it gets interesting. In both stories, the pattern is the same. We get pieces, not the full picture. A controlled release of information. Never a flood, always a trickle. Because in this world, power doesn't lie in the truth. It lies in the silence, in the possession of secrets. Let me explain. Think about Epstein. He wasn't just a predator. He was a nexus, a connector of billionaires, royalty, scientists, and politicians. He kept records, surveillance, flight logs, cameras in the walls, but none of that surfaced. He died. Maxwell was sentenced, and now the FBI says there's nothing more to see. That's not how power usually works. It doesn't erase, it hoards. If you have the secret, you hold the leverage. You don't release it, you dangle it. You let people wonder if their name is in a file somewhere. That's how you maintain control. Now apply that same lens to Diddy. For decades, he moved in elite circles, built empires, rumors swirled, lawsuits emerged, and then raids, leaked footage, shocking headlines. And now, just enough conviction to satisfy the headlines, not enough to implicate others, not enough to burn the industry down. So what are we really looking at? We're watching the blackmail economy in action. Not a conspiracy, a system. A system that understands the true currency of power isn't just money or influence. It's information, specifically damaging information. When someone gets taken down, like Diddy, like Epstein, like Weinstein, it's often because they've lost their usefulness, or because the people they might implicate have moved on, or grown too powerful to be threatened by them anymore. They're not sacrificed for justice, they're sacrificed for preservation, to protect the larger system. And that's the real secret here. Justice is being managed. It's being rationed. We're not watching truth emerge. We're watching narrative control. Philosopher Michel Foucault said, "Power doesn't operate just by force. It operates by determining who gets to know what and when." The slow drip of information isn't a failure of transparency. It's a feature of the system. And here's the most uncomfortable part. We play along. We obsess over the scraps. We refresh Twitter for the next leak. We rage online when the list doesn't drop. But deep down, we know if it did drop and it named hundreds of beloved or powerful figures, the world as we know it would collapse. So we settle for fragments. We tell ourselves we're getting closer to the truth, even though the truth was locked away long ago. And maybe that's why Diddy still hasn't faced full accountability. Why Epstein's secrets died with him. Why the DOJ gets to say with a straight face, there is no list. Because silence in this world is more valuable than justice. But let's go even deeper. Think about how modern scandal works. The initial accusation becomes the headline. The public outrage creates pressure. Then, suddenly, it stalls. Investigations drag out, documents are sealed, and slowly, the cycle ends with no real answers, just fatigue. We saw this with the Panama Papers, massive leak, global outrage, and then nothing. The rich stayed rich. the powerful stayed powerful. Because exposure without enforcement is just performance. It's the same playbook now. And while Diddy may still face sentencing, the lack of deeper exposure is telling. No co-conspirators named, no industry-wide investigation. Just one man, isolated, packaged, processed. It makes you wonder, was this about justice or containment? Because if Diddy's story had gone any further, how many others would it touch? How many producers, agents, executives, collaborators? And Epstein, his list was the ultimate radioactive truth. A ledger of connections, implications, leverage. It would have torched institutions, not just individuals. But instead of the truth, we get press releases. No list, no client names, case closed. But power doesn't need a conviction to keep you in line. All it needs is the threat of exposure. If you're in the book, even if it never leaks, you know someone has it. You know to stay obedient. This is why the system rarely breaks. Because the fear of the secret is more effective than the secret itself. And here's the dark irony. Even we don't want it all exposed. So instead, we accept partial truths. We enjoy the scandal, then move on. It's easier that way. But make no mistake, the list exists. Maybe not typed out in an official document, but in the memories of people who were there. In data locked behind encrypted drives. And the people who hold it, they aren't interested in justice. They're interested in control. Because in the empire of secrets, silence is the currency. This isn't just about Diddy, or Epstein, or any one person. It's about a system built on silence. A world where truth doesn't set you free. It gets you silenced.